الحمد لله رب العالمين خالق السماوات والأرضين ثم الصلاة والسلام على من كان نبيا وآدم بين الماء والتين أجمل الأجملين أكمل الأكملين سيدنا نبينا محمد مصطفى صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم وآله وأصحابه وآل بيته أجمعين وبعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد وأصحاب سيدنا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم صلاة وسلام عليك يا سيدي يا طبيبي يا حبيبي يا رسول الله صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu, and welcome to Mufti in the House with me, your go-to guide for the essentials of Ramadan and fasting. I am Mufti Fareed Jamal Moeeni, your host on this journey of clarity and spiritual discovery as we seek the guidance of the esteemed scholars and ulama with regards to Islamic jurisprudence. Dear viewers, brothers and sisters, in this special series during this blessed month of Ramadan, we dive deep into the divine principles that govern fasting and the practices that make Ramadan a unique and spiritual enriching experience for the Muslim worldwide. Now join us as we explore the diverse aspects of this blessed month, shedding light on the do's and don'ts, right? Understanding the misconceptions and providing clarity on the teachings that shape the holy observance of fasting. And this program is brought to you through the kind courtesy of our CEO, Haji Inshan Ishmael. We make dua that Allah Almighty continue to bless Haji Saab with health, strength, and long life. May He remove the difficulties, elevate his condition, have mercy on him. And may Allah Almighty bless and keep this station, IBN. Yes, IBN, your #1 channel for Islamic broadcasting. Keep this station on air. Yes, dear viewers, brothers and sisters, we also make dua for the sponsors of our programs. May Allah Almighty bless them, increase their wealth, and grant them tremendous amount of rizq and sustenance, inshallah. So in this show, we break down the rules and wisdom behind Ramadan in a way that is simple yet profound. Join us as we navigate through the do's and the don'ts, we debunk the myths, and we get to the heart of what makes fasting during this month of Ramadan so special. Excuse me. Now, whether you are new to Ramadan or you are a seasoned observer, we are here to make the rulings easy to understand, bringing you closer to the essence of this blessed time. So let's dive into the beauty of Ramadan together on Mufti in the House. So get ready for an enlightening conversation and practical insight which enhance your Ramadan experience. So our mission is to make the wisdom of Islamic jurisprudence accessible to all, fostering a greater understanding of the spiritual significance behind the rituals of Ramadan. So sit back, relax, and let Mufti in the House be your guide to a more profound and fulfilling Ramadan experience. May this journey bring us closer to our faith and strengthen our connection with Allah Almighty. So Bismillah, let's begin the journey of knowledge and reflection. And for those who have just joined us and viewing, welcome to Mufti in the House with me, your host, Fareed Jamal Moeeni, and we discuss the different fatwas and questions with regards to fasting. Now, dear viewers, brothers and sisters, in this inquiry, the questioner seeks clarification on the management of finances deposited into the savings account of a non-baligh, yani a not legally matured child, according to Islam, by their father. Specifically, the queries dives into whether the father retains the authority to utilize the money and whether he can make purchases on behalf of the child using these funds. Additionally, the question extends to the matter of zakat, obligatory almsgiving, right, on the assets held in the child's name. Now, though this question is asked, inshallah, we'll get into it. From this or through this, the questioner navigates the intrinsic nature, yeah, of parental financial responsibility, yes, and the legal issues surrounding the ownership and utilization of assets belonging to the minors within the framework of Islamic jurisprudence. So let's get into the response provided by the scholars and the muftis to shed light on these matters in accordance with the principles of Islamic law. And this question is very, very important. I need you to pay attention. It's a bit technical. Excuse me. Yes, the question is a bit technical. Because, you know, some people may use their children to defer paying zakat. Yeah. It happens. People may think at that state. You don't know their minds. Some people prefer to remain zakatable to receive zakat. So they may take their wealth and move it to their kids and think that later on they can spend from the kids' wealth. So this is important. If you're doing so, don't do so. What do the scholars of the Deen and the muftis of sacred law state regarding the following issue? If a father deposits money into a savings account of his non-baligh child, the child has not reached the age of maturity according to Islam, is legally not matured. And what is that age? For a girl, it is 9 years and under. She's not baligh. For a boy, it is 12 years and under. If the boy is 13 years or he's 12 years and 6 months, he is matured. He's considered to be legally matured. If a girl is 9 years and 1 month, she is legally matured. So 9 years and under for a girl, she is now baligh. 12 years and under for a boy, he is now baligh. He is not legally matured, right? So pay attention to this. So if the father deposits money into the savings account of his non-baligh child, then can the father himself use this money, and can he purchase items for the child using this same money? And also, who will give zakat on the money? The child, or is it the father? Is this money zakatable or not? So interesting, right? Yes. Now this question comes from Brother Shaheed. Answer. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Al-Jawab bi'awn al-Malik al-Wahhab. Allahumma hadayatul haqq wa sawab. And the answer is with the help of the generous, the bestower. O Allah, continue to guide us to the truth and the right path. If the depositing of money into the child's saving account is done so by the father in order to give it to the child, to provide the child with ownership, he's changing the ownership, the milkiyat. He's giving this money to the child. It's not done as a temporary situation that the child is holding it for a period of time, but he's making the child the owner of the money. Then by depositing money into the account of the child will become the owner of this money. We must first understand that. This is because if the guardian or the parent of a non-baligh, in a legally not matured child, which is under the age of 9 for a girl and under the age of 12 for a boy, gives the child something, then acquisition is not even required. He has given them. The enactment of gifting will immediately become complete, and the child will become the owner of that. Now the parents cannot use this money for themselves. Right? So if you want to defer not paying your zakat because you got millions and it hurts you to take out millions in zakat, and you decide, to give this money to the children, so I don't have to give zakat. Huh? This is what people do. Na'udhu billah. They deter the zakat. So they give as a gift, and then they say, we'll take back the money, we'll spend. We'll spend from it. We'll spend from there. Huh? The people, shaitan uses the mind, right? So he plays with us and think we can cheat. What are you cheating? The zakat money is not yours. It is meant for the poor. All right? So the child is the owner of the money once you give this child the money. Now the parents cannot use this money for themselves. Yes, items can be purchased for the child using the money. Items can be purchased for the children using the money, but that money cannot be used for yourself. Just as is stated in Bahr al-Raik, so that money is no longer, it can be used on you. وَحِبَّةُ الْعَبِّ لِطِفْلَةِ تَتِمُّ بِالْعَقْدِ لِأَنَّ قَبْضَ الْعَبِّ يَنُوبُ عَنْهُ. The enactment of the father's gifting, excuse me, the enactment of the father's gifting for a non-baligh, a child, for a boy, is how much? 12 years and under. A girl, 9 years and under, will be complete only when the enactment of a contract, because the father's acquisition is in place of the child's acquisition. In other words, the money given to the child becomes to the child. The ownership belongs to the child. So this is Bahr al-Raik, volume 7, page 489 to 490. Similarly, it's stated in Tibyan al-Haqa'iq, that volume 5, page 95, and it's stated in Bahr al-Sharia that even though the guardian of a non-baligh is not permitted to use the child's wealth, even then, whether the gifting something to the child just from the mere contracting it, meaning giving it, meaning offering the gift, the enactment of gifting is complete, and this makes the child the owner. So this is on the condition that the item to whom it was gifted is originally in the hands of the person who gifted it and who it is deposited with, and the one who is looking after it. One comes to know that the ruling of gifting for the father is the same as if it is for the paternal uncles, brothers, etc., whether there is no father, on the condition that the non-baligh child is in their care. Bahr al-Shariat, volume 3, page 14. And this, inshallah, we'll answer a question. I have to answer the question, is giving zakat in a form of a check valid or not? Yeah, they make me think here. And that question came. I'll answer it on another episode. Yeah, you write out a check. You put it on a paper. You write out the check, and we give it. You say, this is zakat. Is this valid or not? It's not in your ownership. It belongs to the bank. So it needs to be in milkiyat. Who's milkiyat? And how it should be done. You know, we must understand these things. It's important, right? Inshallah. So, it's not permissible for parents to use this money unless there is a need. Unless there is a serious need. Just as stated in Dul al-Muhtar and Ma'arad al-Muhtar, أن غير المعقول لا يباه لهما إلا لحاجتي. It's not permissible for the parents to use the item given to the child or the money, all right, unless there is a need. Dul al-Muhtar, Ma'arad al-Muhtar, volume 5, page 696. And it's further stated in Bahr al-Sharia that if it becomes known from an indication that giving a food item for a specific child was intended, then the parents cannot eat it even for themselves. For example, if someone is eating something and a child reaches them and then a little of it is taken and given to the child, from here it becomes known that it was not intended to give to the parents. And it also becomes known that it's not correct for the parents to use those items that are not for eating, consumption, which are given to a non-baligh unless there is a need. So you cannot take items which was given to a non-baligh and consume it on your own self unless there is a need. Bahr al-Sharia, volume 3, page 14, part 14, page 79. So if the guardian transfers ownership of money to a non-baligh, legally not mature child, then the zakat of this money is not on anyone, because zakat is not fared on the na-baligh, just as is stated in the text. So, the reason why some people may use this as a form of deterring zakat, they say, yeah, I give the money to my na-baligh children or grandchildren. Yeah, make it open an account just to be freed from zakat. Yeah. So may Allah open our hearts to the reality of the truth and to do the correct thing. And then they decide, you know, we will spend from there. This is haram, right? You cannot be doing this, right? And they do this, they put the money on the child's name to deter paying zakat. Because money is close to the heart. And when they realize they need to give millions out in zakat, they find ways not to do it. Na'udhu billah. O Muslims, well, if you're viewing, alhamdulillah, you're viewing, but I don't think the ones who are viewing are not doing so. The ones who are viewing, they fear Allah, they're giving their zakat, they're giving their sadaqah, etc. May Allah open our hearts to the reality of what is not ours and distribute what is not ours to those who are in need, inshallah. So, in summary, the query pertains to the management of funds deposited into a non-baligh, legally not mature child saving account by their father, querying whether the father can utilize these funds to make purchases for the child. The response elucidates that if the father deposits money to as a gift to the child becomes the owner immediately. This keeps the parents from using the funds unless it is necessary, right? The hajat is needed. Now, the legality of utilizing the child's asset hinges on their intended purpose and necessity. Additionally, it is clarified that zakat is not obligatory on the assets held by na-baligh, legally immature children or individuals. Though this inquiry is there, and through this inquiry rather, the intrinsics of parental financial responsibility and the legal framework regarding minors' assets in Islamic law are made clear. So you can see, dear viewers, brothers and sisters, this is a very, it is an ethicalish matter, and we need to apply caution to not do the wrong thing. Right? So in this query, we have another query now coming. The questioner seeks clarification on the recipients of charity and those who can receive zakat. The necessity of poverty for receiving charity and whether gifts can be considered as acts of charity. This query delves into the intricacies of Islamic charitable giving, distinguishing between voluntary charity and obligatory forms like zakat. Now, the response outlines the criteria for identifying the eligible recipients of zakat and elucidates the broader scope of voluntary charity, including the permissibility of gifting items purchased with zakat funds. Now, through this discussion, the principles guiding Islamic charitable practices are expounded upon, emphasizing the importance of generosity and compassion in supporting those in need. Now, dear viewers, brothers and sisters, what do the scholars of the Deen and the Muftis of the sacred law state regarding the following issue? Who can we give charity to? Is it essential to be poor? The person must be poor for charity. Or if we purchase a gift for someone, now can this be regarded as charity for them? Right? Brother Ihsan. Answer, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Al-Jawab bin Awn al-Malik al-Wahhab, Allahumma hadayatul haqqi wa sawab. And the answer is with the help of the generous Lord. Oh Allah, continue to guide us to the truth and the right path. Now, voluntary charity, charity that is not obligatory upon you, it's voluntary, it's nafil, right? It can be given to the rich or poor, right? This is sadaqah, it's sadaqah, voluntary. Now, this is voluntary, it's not fard. It's not wajib upon you, but it's voluntary. This can be given to the rich or the poor, as this is only a gift, right? And it is not required that one be poor or eligible to receive zakat in order to accept a gift. Whereas wajib charity, such as zakat, fitra, etc., can only be given to a poor person as defined by Sharia. Put easy, a poor person as regards to the Sharia is as follows. If a male or female legally matured has the monetary value of $52.5 or 612.35 grams of silver, which is approximately $3,067.87 nowadays, and this is when this fatwa was written, or when it was replied. It's not today as it's been aired, but so the value may be different today as you're hearing. So if you check 612.35 grams of silver, you look out for the monetary value of this, how much 1 gram is, and you calculate. So it's approximately $3,068, right? Or 7.5 tolas, which is 87.48 grams of gold. 87.5, you can round it off, or 87.48 grams of gold. And this is approximately, as I said, according to when this question was answered, $38,511.29. So, if a male or female has the monetary value of $3,068, or that is the nisab of silver, or the monetary value of $38,512, I round it off. That is the nisab for gold nowadays, right? Then such a person will be regarded as poor per Sharia, right? So this person does not, right, possess this amount of money. They don't have 3,000. If you look at the nisab of silver, they don't have $3,068. Or if you look at the nisab with gold, they do not have $38,512. They have less, much less, right? Then such person will not be regarded, they will be regarded as poor, right? Now, if they have more than this, they will not be regarded as poor per the Sharia. Likewise, this person is also not poor as per the Sharia, who may not possess this amount, however, owns something which is of this value, excluding their basic needs. For example, extra furniture, or a property given out on rent, or an empty plot of land, etc. So they may not have $38,000 saving in their account, but they have an extra plot of land that they're not using, or they have an extra building that is rented out. They're not considered poor, right? Furthermore, whether they have extra property and they don't have this nisab, they're under the nisab, but they have extra property besides the hajar asliya, what is needed to live, they are not considered poor. Understand? And furthermore, whatever is brought as a gift, etc., may be included as voluntary charity. So if you want to give this person a voluntary charity, that will be a gift, but it will be a voluntary charity. It's not fard charity, right? Like, for example, you give them clothes. That is, you know, like you treat your friends and family well. You give them gifts. So that will be a voluntary charity, right? It can be also be brought as a gift from the amount of zakat and given to those eligible, yeah? But if they have to receive, this will be voluntary charity, but it would not be fard charity, would not be zakat, right? And now if you want to give persons who don't have this nisab, as I've just mentioned, then that will be from the zakat, it will be wajib or fard, the faraid, the wajib charity, such as zakat or fitrah, they can receive, right? And Allah knows best. Now, dear viewers, brothers and sisters, the query concerns the guidelines for, charitable giving in Islam. Addressing the recipients of charity, then necessity of poverty, you must be poor for receiving charity, receiving zakat, and whether gifts can serve as acts of charity or not. Now, the response that I give clarifies that while obligatory charity is like zakat and fitrah is reserved for the poor as defined as Sharia, voluntary charity can be extended to both the rich and the poor. You can give voluntary charity to the rich and the poor. It clarifies the criteria for determining eligibility for zakat recipients and underscores the broader scope of voluntary charity, which encompasses gifts purchased with zakat funds. So you may have your zakat funds and you want to give gifts, but you're using your zakat to give as a gift, and this person cannot receive zakat. This will be a nafil charity, a sadaqah. not a wajib charity, right? Your zakat is not fulfilled there. So this clarifies and underscores the principles of generosity and compassion within our Islamic charitable practices, and we know what we can do and what we cannot do and their rulings, right? Now we have another question, inshallah. We just have a few minutes before we end. Excuse me. Now, this question addresses the concern of ensuring that zakat, the obligatory almsgiving in Islam, reaches those who are truly eligible to receive zakat. The questioner seeks clarification on whether it is permissible to give zakat to someone who is eligible and is uncertain, and how to determine if a person is indeed considered poor or according to Islamic law. Because they may have a nice car, driving a nice car. They may be dressing well. They may be able to meet their family needs. But they don't have the nisab. Is this person poor or not? Right? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Al-Jawab bin Awn al-Malik al-Wahhab. Allahumma hadayatul haqqi wa sawab. And the answer is, with the help of the generous Allah, O Allah, continue to guide us to the truth and the right path. It is essential for you to know whether the person to whom you are giving zakat is eligible to receive zakat or not, and a poor person, as per Islamic law, right? And is indeed eligible, according to Islamic law, to receive the zakat. The way to come to know if this is to check the following things regarding the person you wish to give zakat to. They should not have the value of 87.478 grams of gold. Its monetary value, the day that I calculated and wrote this fatwa, it's $38,512. So they do not have this amount of money saving in their position for 1 year, right? Or the nisab for silver, and inshallah one of these episodes we discuss whether we should go with nisab of silver or nisab of gold. They should not have the nisab of silver, which is, in today's time and currency, approximately $3,068. Thus, if anyone even has 1 tola or 11.6 grams of gold above their basic needs, and that is, right now, when I calculated this fatwa, 1 gram of gold was $440 dollars and 28 TT dollars, $440 dollars and 28 cents. These prices are in TT dollars, right? $440 and 28 cents. So if one person has 1 gram more than their basic need, then such person will not be deemed as poor in Sharia, because the value of 1 gold today, as I calculated, was subhanallah, that is 11 gram, 1 tola, right? So 1 tola is 11 grams. So 11 grams of gold is $5,133.66. So even if they have 1 tola of gold above their basic needs, then such person would not be deemed as poor in the Sharia. As is stated in Bahari Shariat, referencing Rad al-Mukhtar, that the threshold here refers the nisab, those who qualify for nisab, is the value of those items should be equal to 200 dirhams, the current standard threshold or the nisab. Even though by itself it may not be so much that zakat is wajib on it. For example, if $6 of gold is equal to the value of 200 dirhams, then the one who has this, even though zakat is not wajib on him, because the threshold of gold is $7, $7.50, but he has $6, right? But that person cannot be given zakat. Even the nisab should be 7.5. But when you check the $6, he's crossed the nisab, subhanallah. Alternatively, in the case where a person has 30 goats, for example, or 20 cows, which add up to the value of 200 dirhams, right? So they have other things, material gains, that you add up to more than 38,000, right? Besides their daily needs, right? They have excess, right? They cannot be given zakat, right? Zakat is not wajib on that person to give them, right? They cannot be given zakat, even though zakat is not wajib on him. Zakat is not wajib on that person to distribute, right? It's not wajib because when he checks up, right, he does not have the nisab, he doesn't meet the nisab, right? So if he has more goods than his needs, which are not also not from the trade purpose, right, but they are equal to 200 dirhams and the nisab, then he also cannot be given nisab. That he cannot be given zakat. If you check his goods, right, his goods and market goods, he's doing business, and he has beyond his needs, he cannot be given zakat. Or it comes so close to the nisab, right? Also, he cannot be given zakat, right? It comes so close that he cannot distribute zakat, right? If it's 1 gram less, and he cannot distribute, he cannot receive if it is so close. So they should not have been, such wealth equivalent to $3,068, right? That's a silver, which has a potential to increase. That wealth, so it has a potential to increase, like business stocks or goods in a shop, etc. Bonds, right? It has a potential to increase, and they should not be given anything whose monetary value is equal to that in silver, which is outside of their basic need. For example, extra furniture, right? They should not have anything, right, besides those monetary value that I've mentioned. For example, extra furniture in the house which isn't being used, right? Or extra cars, as do some people in Trinidad, you know? They have 2-3 cars packed up, right? One is necessary, but you have extra. So you check, they may not have the nisab in gold or silver, but they have properties or valuables that crosses the nisab, that is beyond their need, right? It should not be such that they possess a small amount of gold or silver or any money whose total value is equal to the monetary value of nisab, right? Which is, as I mentioned, $3,068 TT dollars if you're calculating the nisab of silver, or $38,512 TT dollars if you're calculating the nisab of gold. So dear viewers, brothers and sisters, we come to an end, and in summarizing, in response, it is emphasized that it is crucial to ascertain the eligibility of potential recipients before giving zakat. A person is considered poor in the context of zakat, and if they do not possess a certain amount of wealth specified in terms of gold, silver, or their equivalent monetary value in etc., in goods or extra beyond their need, the guidelines outline specific thresholds or the nisab that determine eligibility, such as the absence of a specific quantity of gold or silver beyond basic needs, or the possession of assets that exceed a certain value. By adhering to these certain criteria, individuals can ensure that their zakat reaches those in genuine need in accordance with Islamic principles. And we must check that, right? We must be sure, right? And you know, the Barakah Foundation gives out zakat. So you can bring your zakat to the Barakah Foundation, and they ensure that the righteous persons give it. We also at Makun Street give out our zakat also to the righteous persons and the qualified persons. We ensure this. So you can, inshallah, bring contributions as well. So you give to those institutions that distribute accordingly. So dear viewers, brothers and sisters, anyhow, that wraps up another episode of Mufti in the House, and we hope today's discussion have been helpful in navigating the particulars of Ramadan and fasting with regards to zakat. Remember, seeking knowledge is a journey, and every step brings us closer to faith and understanding our deen. So let us apply this wisdom shared today and enhance our spiritual connection. As I bid you farewell, may your fast be accepted, may your zakat be accepted, and may Allah's blessings be with you always. Join us again next time. Assalamu alaikum.